What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO, give you an overview of what's influencing it and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO has had a fairly volatile day, $4.57 the high, $4.43 the low. So like I said, it's kind of all over the place, largely getting moved by the algos, as you can kind of see, but that's no different than any other day. Very low volume, so 23.2 million shares being traded, 57.5 is the average. No official news from NIO itself, no SEC filings, so it is kind of just getting moved by the broader market. And even over here, this is kind of mimicking just a lower volume. You aren't seeing any transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. So goes to show big money isn't buying the NIO dip. If anything, based on what was just stated by Powell, there's less, 2025 cuts than was previously anticipated. So kind of shows that there is some just uncertainty in the broader market. So again, algos are kind of feeding off of that and propelling NIO down. The only thing that really has come out associated to NIO, kind of worthwhile to bring up, is this. So Firefly is actually going to be having their own battery swap stations, which is good, but at the same time, coming from a cost perspective, that might be very, cumbersome. So I think NIO is doing a good job for their infrastructure, but it's very costly. And again, you can see that from their earnings. Just it'll pay off down the line, but in reality, in the short term, I think it's more pain potentially. So this is good information to know, but as far as is it a good reason to buy NIO, I would say not so much. But as far as right now, moving over to shorts are taking advantage of the fear, returning 1.4 million shares. So it goes to show how powerful the algos are, of course, especially with the limited volume today. Shorts net returning 1.4 isn't really doing all that much to the stock price. So 13.72% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 183.19 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost of borrow average 4.72, then utilization is 100%. So what really sucks about this whole scenario is that shorts have been very much strategically increasing to kill any and all momentum with NIO to prevent any kind of spikes up, but by the end of the day they do return throughout the trading day. So as crazy as it sounds, even though NIO has been going down, let's say over the last 5 days, 1.33, over the last 1 month, they are down 5.03%. Shorts have actually been returning. So went from around 15.63% to where it is now. So not the best kind of chain of events. So most likely the next run that NIO does have, obviously with shorts freeing up room, regrettably, they might be able to kind of keep it restricted, if that makes sense. So add a lot more selling pressure and whatever else. But as far as options, 1.84 million in calls, 826,000 in puts. So dollar value wise, very low. 44% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. So people are anticipating more of a kind of push lower, and even just generally looking at the overall volume, it is mimicking just the common stock. So NIO is not really being seen as a value play or anything right now. If they do obviously unveil their December numbers and they come in line with expectations, that might be the next big catalyst aside from their NIO day. But as of right now, big money sees better opportunity elsewhere. But of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $5. Going into next week, you see more 450-ish. So I think the optimism kind of quickly left NIO, which is rather unfortunate. But of the bears, there's a consensus for it to be sub 450. So in my opinion, based on this information, there is a little bit more upside, but as I've stated, and it gets kind of tiring to keep saying it, you need big money. You need big money to actually buy at those support levels. Everyone is very easy to say, yeah, this is going to $10, this is going to $20, this is going to 2x by the end of this year, but add no real justified value to why. Because big money, for the most part, has been ignoring NIO. You need them, especially this most recent run that did happen when there was that stimulus update, and also that whole European tariffs was getting removed. That is where big money caused NIO to go higher. So anyone out there saying that, yeah, NIO is going to go to $10 by the end of December, but adding no real kind of justified value. It's kind of just talking through your teeth for the most part. So I think in general, like I said, whether it be December numbers or NIO Day, with the launch of the new vehicle Firefly, I think that might be the next big catalyst. But I think there, at the same time, there's just a lot of fear in the broader market now. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like I've stated, once NIO does obtain profitability in obviously late 2025 or possibly 2026, this is where it'll more align with the actual stock price. But until then, you're just going to have a lot of manipulation. But with it at $4.43, it is trading right on this S1, so it needs to really stay above that. If not, this is where you could see a further breakdown. So 443, definitely watch for that. 421 is going to be a strong support, followed by 386. Flip side, let's say the market does somehow recover, $4.77 and then $5.12 are going to be the next strong kind of target points. There was a new rating that did come out yesterday, $4.50 hold, Berenstein Eunice, who has a 53% success rating. So as a consensus of all the ratings, $5.99 is that price target, and that does represent a 34.3% upside. But on the actual chart itself, like, there's not much really to say. The technicals look very, very bad. So it is below the ALMA, all the key pivotal moving averages. So based on this, it does show that there is more downside coming. And it pains me to say this, but for those of you that watch my channel, you know, I'm not here to sugarcoat things. I do own NIO, but these videos are just reading the data. And based on this, it does pain me to kind of say that there is going to be more downside. So I'm not here to get you guys to buy nor sell. Don't really care all that much what you guys do. I'm just interpreting the data, so just kind of be aware of that. I'm not spreading FUD or anything, but for those of you again that have been following my channel, you know, generally when I kind of analyze the data and stuff like that, it comes to fruition for the most part. So like I said, I think there is more downside coming. Just watch for these support points that I kind of mentioned. So all in all, what is your viewpoint on NIO? What do you think is going to be the next big catalyst? Do you think the NIO Day is going to be good enough that big money actually rallies behind that? Or do you think it's going to be December numbers? What's your viewpoint? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Then one final thing I just wanted to share with you, pop over to my Patreon. I did put out a lot of new buy signals. So I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Just in the month I have launched it, already had a couple that doubled, one just quadrupled, pulling back slightly, but that is SoundHound. So definitely pop over there to take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.